When I think of the word culture, I think of people and the characteristics of future leaders. The people that you want to bring into the organization are people who, number one, are passionate about whatever it is they're doing. Passion is really, really important. If somebody's passionate enough, they will figure out technically what they need to do to be successful. So passion's important. A team player is really important. Somebody who is naturally curious about things, that's always asking questions, always wants to learn more. And somebody who's humble. Humility goes a long way in my book in people, in leaders in organizations. So that's kind of the people component of it. And then I think it's important to adopt a tone throughout the leadership ranks. And the tone, I think, it's two words. It's realistic and it's optimistic. And so the realistic part of it is, let's fully define and describe the problem. If we're going to fully solve it, we better fully define it. And then the optimism part of it is knowing what we've all done before and moving the organization forward. We're optimistic that we can get there. If you think about the extremes in each of those, so as a leader, if all you were, and if the culture of the organization was just totally about realism, everybody would just be walking around with their head hanging down, talking about how tough everything is and how bad it is and all the work they've got to do. That would be just if there was realism with no optimism mixed in. The other end of that spectrum is that you're just optimistic all the time. And so people look at that and they say, does the boss not really know what's going on around here, right? Everybody's just kind of happy-go-lucky and everything will turn out okay. So the balance is critical. And then I think, again, giving credit where credit is due is really, really important. And I guess the last point on this is you want leadership jobs to be desirable. You want people to aspire to become leaders. And I've seen some organizations where people come in and say, I wouldn't want that job. That looks really tough, and you take a lot of risk and something bad could happen. So you need to mentor people, you need to develop and coach. And I think one of the best ways is to give people, as they're learning leadership, give them groups to lead within their organization, give them projects to lead, and then look at developing them with both horizontal moves along the organization chart as well as vertical. And one of the things that I believe, and it's worked really well at our company, is these lateral moves where you take somebody maybe that was in marketing for a long time and you give them an operational role. Maybe at the same level, maybe it's still a director level or whatever in the organization before you move them up. And that gives them this opportunity to look at the organization, to understand how all the pieces work. It gets back to that teamwork. They understand the interdependencies in the organization that are really important. And then as they move up, they know how it all works. And importantly, the people know each other. And I think it's a way that as organizations get bigger, there's a natural tendency to become bureaucratic and siloed. I think this lateral idea, lateral movement in the organization is a way to avoid or minimize the siloedness that can happen and the bureaucracy that can creep into organizations. We've had a lot of luck with that. So it's important to pay attention to the culture. It's all about the people and how you lead and inspire them. And ultimately, you will have a pipeline then of leadership, of future leadership, which is what you want. When you have a job opening, you don't want to go outside the company all that often. If you can help it, you'd like to be able to bring people in at the right level and promote them from within. And then they become understanding and they help build the culture.